A new tornado warning has been issued.
There it is. We got a tornado warning officially for Bloomington.
All right, y'all. So we are camped out in close to Nashville, Indiana, just east of Nashville, Indiana, and we are under a severe tornado warning right now. We're watching Ryan Hall right now, as you can see. And this thing's pretty close, guys. It's actually, there has been one that's toward, there's one that's just, it has touched down just north of us. We are sheltered here at the bathhouse. Nice big stone walls. I don't know about the ceiling here. I don't know how this is going to go. Hopefully this all stays north of us, or it just kind of peters out before it gets to us. I'm not sure, but we're going to keep you up to date here. This is a little bit scary. We did have our go bag ready. But this is what we got. So we will see how this goes. Like I said, we're gonna just stay hunkered down here in this this bathhouse and hope for the best.
It's okay.
All right. Well, round one is done. Oh, you can hear the rain starting up again.
Yeah.
But at least we're out of the tornado warning.
Yes.
Still in a tornado watch.
Yes.
And a severe thunderstorm warning. With up to 60-mile-an-hour gusts.
Yes.
So.
And did you just turn that off?
Nope, I did not just turn that off.
Okay, well.
So we might have just lost power. I'll figure that out in a second.
Yep.
So we got some stuff going on here. Wicket is not happy. This dude is terrified right now.
We had a husky in the bathhouse with us. So we just got back. We went up to the bathhouse. We were in there with 8 adults. Wicket, Bella.
Whoa, hang on. When we say we were at the bathhouse, what we mean is we were in the shower. Because there are 2 bathrooms and 1 shower. And the shower area is probably about 8 feet long by about 4 feet wide.
Yes. So Wicket, Bella was in her carrier, and a full-size husky, and he was so terrified, he didn't make a peep.
Yeah.
They were within like 2 feet of each other, and Wicket was just like, oh my God, save me.
Yeah, especially when that big crack of lightning hit. So we were paying attention to Ryan Hall, so big thank you to Ryan Hall. He kind of kept us updated on everything. There was a tornado that touched down just to the north of us, caused some damage. Oh, there we go. The power just came back on. I heard it. And on Interstate 69, I guess there were some cars flipped over. This was no joke. When we got that tornado warning, we kind of took us a couple of minutes to figure out if we really needed to go. But yeah, we definitely had to go. And I don't know if we got a lot of rain, or we got a lot of rain for sure.
Yes.
A lot of rain. Not sure about the wind. Our bike tent's still up.
Yeah, I didn't notice a lot of wind.
When we shut the door at one point because it was just raining, it was just pouring cats and dogs. But I didn't hear a lot of wind.
No, and I think it was just raining really heavy, and it was kind of coming in kind of slightly in the door.
Yeah.
So yeah, we did shut it for
a little bit,
and it turned into a sauna.
Yeah, I did see there was a fan in the ceiling, but I couldn't figure out how to turn the stupid thing on. So anyway, I think we're probably going to stay up here for another couple of hours. It's about 10 after 11, and we're probably going to stay up for another couple of hours until this whole front gets by, because there was also another tornado coming from Illinois, still headed east. So we're gonna wait this out until we go to bed. Try and, I just don't want to miss anything.
Yeah.
We did get alerts, so I downloaded an app called Emergency. I think it's put out by the Red Cross, and it gave us alerts.
But also
just whatever the alerts come from for like the Amber alerts, it sounded like that. That was actually the first one that came through. Then like maybe 30 seconds or a minute later, our app notified us. So we got some notifications going on. Our weather radio.
Yeah, I could not get a signal here.
Yeah.
We were hoping that it would still kind of come through, but nothing. So that's why Jeremy downloaded the emergency app, just kind of as a backup. And I already told him, but I actually thought several hours ago when I saw this storm coming, I'm like, we should just go to our daughter's house. She's got a basement.
Yeah.
And we didn't, because I'm like, I don't want to spend the night over there if we don't have to, but
should have done it.
I could have been in an air-conditioned basement.
I know. Anyway, we're going to ride this out for a couple more hours. If anything else happens, well, either way, we'll let you know. So may not be till in the morning if nothing happens. And hopefully we don't have anything exciting to bring you guys.
So we've had quite a few new subscribers recently, and if you're new here and you don't know about our monthly newsletter, I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on what's in it and why you should check it out. It includes things like where we've been, where we're going next. I do a tip of the month. We do a camp spot kind of highlight, lots of pictures of Wicked. He's got his own little section. So if you're interested in the monthly newsletter, again, once a month, just go ahead and send us an email to the address down below or leave us a comment in this video and we will get you added to our monthly newsletter.
All right, well, I'm here to mark us safe from all the tornadoes and just general chaos that happened last night. It was a long, sleepless night between the thunder and the downpouring rain on top of the slide where we're trying to sleep. And then in addition to that, we also had a bit of a shore power issue. I don't know, it was probably about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So many of you know I was in the Navy for 20 years and I was on submarines and I was an electrician.
Sir.
And one of the things about being an electrician on a submarine is anytime you hear the ventilation system or the fans turn off, you know there's a problem. And you can be dead asleep, and when that ventilation fan turns off, it wakes you up immediately. And the funny thing about this is there's a lot of parallels really between the submarine life and the RV life. And one of the things that I still do to this day, even after being out of the Navy for like 11 years now, is I'm still very in tune with the air conditioners in this rig. And if it's the middle of the night and I can be dead asleep, and when that air conditioner turns off at just kind of an odd time, it wakes me up immediately. And so that happened last night. The air conditioner shut off, and for whatever reason, my brain knew that it was not just a normal cycle of the air conditioner. And sure enough, after I heard it turn off and I laid there for a few minutes, the AC turned back on, lasted for about 5 seconds, and then turned itself back off again. And of course, being in the middle of the night and I didn't really want to get up, I laid there and let it do that one more time before I actually convinced myself that I had a problem. And this is actually going to feed into something that I've been noticing with this rig, with my setup, for probably a couple of months now. Occasionally, when we either lose shore power or when I turn shore power off and then shore power comes back, after about 3 to 5 seconds or so, my power watchdog cuts power to the rig and it tells me I've either got an open neutral or a reverse neutral and ground. And in each of these cases, I knew for a fact that shore power was fine. I tested it. So I knew there was something else going on with the rig other than just a problem with shore power. And the last time this happened, it occurred to me that it could actually be my inverter that's causing the problem. So if you haven't watched all of our previous videos, I've got kind of a different setup. So we use our power stations, our EcoFlow Delta Pro power stations, as off-grid power. And that's not a system that kicks in automatically. When I lose shore power, I have to manually transfer us over to those EcoFlow power stations. But what does happen automatically is my inverter does have an automatic transfer switch in it. This inverter carries all of the outlets in our rig. So if we lose shore power, I can't run air conditioning, I can't run the microwave, I can't run stuff like that, but all of my outlets still work. And again, if you watch our channel, you know that I'm always talking about how important it is when you're on a source of power other than shore power that has a proper ground to neutral bond. And I'm not going to get into the details on that one again, but one of the things that this inverter does is when I lose shore power and it transfers over to the inverter also automatically inserts a ground neutral bond. It's got a little relay in here. When the automatic transfer switch switches over, the relay shuts inside of here and it provides that necessary ground to neutral bond. Okay, so with all of that out of the way, the last time this happened, where I lost shore power briefly and then shore power came back on and my Hughes power watchdog then indicated that I had a reversed ground and neutral, I suspected that there was probably something going on with this inverter, specifically with that ground to neutral bonding relay inside. And so what's happening with this thing is when shore power comes back on, the automatic transfer switch switches us back over to shore power. All of that happens seamlessly, and that's all fine. But what else is happening is the internal relay in here here that's supposed to split that ground to neutral bond when I get back on shore power. That relay is not working properly. It's either not fully disconnecting or it's just not disconnecting at all. So my power watchdog is seeing now that I have 2 ground to neutral bond points connected to my electrical system, and that is not what we want. And again, without getting into the weeds of all of that, the ground neutral bond is what keeps your electrical system safe in here. It's what allows your circuit breakers in the RV to do their jobs when you have an electrical fault, a ground fault inside of your RV. It allows those breakers to do their jobs and turn that circuit off and make everything safe again. That's as far as I'm going to go with that. So this brings me back to what happened last night. Because of all the storms that were happening around here, we lost shore power several times. And the last time we lost shore power, my inverter was not playing nicely when shore power came back on. So shore power would come back on, the internal ground to neutral bond relay inside of this inverter was failing to open up. The power watchdog saw that and said, nope, I'm not going to let power through anymore. And now after I dug into this a little bit on the interwebs, what I found was this is a known issue with this specific inverter. So what does that mean for us and our setup? Well, fortunately, on the side of the inverter over here, there's a switch where you can turn that automatic bonding on and off. So last night when I kind of realized what was going on, I had to come out here and turn that automatic bonding off. And as soon as I did that, my power watchdog was happy and it let power back into the RV just like normal. So going forward, number one, I've got a trouble ticket in with Renogy, and we're going to see what they say about this. And then number two, this is just going to be something that I'm going to have to manually do every time we lose shore power. But I really wanted to talk about this on the channel because you really got to understand how your electrical system in your RV works. Because for someone who doesn't understand how their system works, this very well could have been a situation where they just didn't have shore power all night long, didn't have air conditioning in the middle of the night, and then the next day, you know, the first thing they're doing is picking up a phone and calling an RV tech to come and diagnose and fix their system. And something like this is probably going to run even a good RV tech around in circles for a little while before they figure out what's going on, and that can just cost a ton of money. And the topic of just understanding the electrical systems in these RVs actually brings me to our next topic. And that topic is using appliances or any other gadgets in your RV that draw a lot of power. And I specifically wanted to cover this because most YouTubers out there that talk about this topic limit this discussion to using portable space heaters in the wintertime. But there are a lot of things that we use as RVers, especially as full-time RVers, that draw a lot of power, things that we like to bring from our home and use in our RVs. So we're going to take a look at a couple of examples here. And the first one is this Ninja wood-fired 7-in-1 grill, which, by the way, I absolutely love this thing, but I want to demonstrate exactly how much power this thing uses. But before that, I want to talk about all the outlets that are in your RV. For the most part, all the outlets in your RV are going to be limited to 15 amps. And so that can be problematic when we bring stuff like this from our home to our RV, because a lot of the times in our homes, those circuits and those outlets are rated for 20 amps. So I wanted to use this grill as an example. But first I want to move this grill because I don't actually want to run this on this outlet over here, because again, like I said, this is a 15 amp outlet. And when I demonstrate what this looks like electrically when we start this thing up, you'll understand why I really don't want to run it off of this outlet anymore. So let me just get this thing moved real quick. Okay, and I understand that most people out there aren't going to have this option or this method to power up these high-powered appliances like this. But like I said earlier, we do use our EcoFlow power stations as off-grid power, but I can also just use those anytime I want. So I'm going to use my power station here to show you exactly how much power this grill draws. So what I'm going to do here is I've got a heavy-duty extension cord. This is a 10-gauge extension cord, plenty of extension cord for the 15 amps that this thing draws. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to plug it in to here, and then this extension cord is plugged into my EcoFlow, which actually has 20 amp outlets on it. So it gives me a little bit of room to work with. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to look at my app here for my EcoFlow, and we're going to see exactly how much power this draws. Now, this thing's not going to show us how much power in amps. It's going to show us how much power in watts. So what I'll tell you right off the bat is 1800 watts is is 15 amps of power when you're talking about a 120 volt system here. So when we start this up, we're going to see exactly how much power in watts this grill is going to draw. And then of course we can correlate that over to amps. So I'm just going to turn this thing to the grill feature and kind of go through the warm up on it. As soon as I hit this start button, we're going to see the power output here jump probably all the way up to 1800 watts. So yep, there we go. So we've got about 1700 watts. That's pretty close. The last time I checked this, it was 1.79 kilowatts. So basically 1800 watts. And like I said before, that 1800 watts equates to 15 amps. Well, now it's up to about 1.73 or so. So the bottom line here is when I plug this grill into the outside outlet on the RV, it's putting that outlet and that circuit at max capacity. And the thing to keep in mind about this is the actual outlets and the circuits that feed those outlets are actually rated the same. So that outlet that I was plugged into a while ago is rated for 15 amps, but so is the entire circuit feeding that outlet. And in my case, that outlet right there is on the same circuit as all of the outlets in our kitchen. So when we're using these high-powered gadgets like this, at a minimum, it can be problematic. And worst case scenario, it can actually be dangerous and it could potentially start a fire. So how is it problematic? Well, I told you that this grill, when it's plugged into the outside outlet, is on the same circuit as everything in our kitchen. That means if Candace is inside and she's also trying to do something, maybe she's trying to warm something up in the toaster oven, which we'll talk about here in just a few minutes, all of that is on the same 15 amp circuit. And guess what? That doesn't work. We have tested that theory several times where one hand wasn't talking to the other and we were both trying to run something and we end up tripping a breaker. So that's how it can be problematic. Now, it can also be just flat out dangerous, right? Because that outlet, again, is rated at 15 amps. This thing is pulling 15 amps, so we're stressing that outlet to its max capacity. And if you know anything about RVs, number one, they're often not assembled correctly, and number two, they often don't use the best or most high quality parts for these RVs, and outlets on RVs are known failure points. Now, am I saying that you absolutely should not use this plugged into one of your outside outlets? Well, I don't know that I would go that far. What I would say is if you're just going to turn one of these things on and you're going to grill up a couple of burgers or maybe a couple of steaks and it's going to be on for maybe 15, 20 minutes tops, then you may be okay, but I would definitely keep an eye on it. What a better idea though is, and Candace just reminded me of this, is if you've got a 20 amp outlet on your pedestal, just plug it in over at the pedestal and then you don't have to worry about it. Okay, so now let's move inside and let's take a look at our toaster oven because we're in a very similar situation with that as we are with this grill. So the toaster oven isn't going to use as much power as that grill out there, but it does still use a significant amount of power. We're going to take a look at it real quick. I've now got my Power Watchdog app open, which by the way is a great way for you to understand exactly how much power all of these appliances use in your RV. So what we're going to take a look at here is on line 1, we're sitting at about 1.5 amps right now, and when I start this thing up, we're going to see what that current jumps up to. I'm guessing it's going to be somewhere around 13 to 14 amps, but let's take a look. Yeah, so we're looking at about 14 amps total now on that circuit, which means 14 minus the original 1.5 that was already there. So we're drawing about 12.5 amps here on this 15 amp circuit. And again, we're not pushing the limits of that circuit, the wiring or the outlets itself, but we're pretty close. So the point of all of this is that you really just need to be paying attention to what you're plugging in your outlets in your RV, especially when they're high power appliances like a toaster oven or a grill. So that's going to wrap it up for this video, guys. But I really think all this is super important for every RV owner to understand how their electrical systems work, because those systems can do just some weird things sometimes, and we don't always need to call an RV tech and spend hundreds of dollars when we can fix this stuff or diagnose it ourselves. And to cap this off, you're going to want to come back next week because we've got a little bit of a situation at our daughter's place that really kind of goes along with what we've been talking about today, and really all of these electrical videos that I talk about. And it goes back to a question that we got a couple of weeks ago from someone who watched one of our videos and asked, what is the point of having one of these surge protectors with the EPO on it that turns power off to your rig if something goes wrong? Because the reality is we don't have those things in our homes. So why do we need them in our RVs if we don't have them in our house? So we're going to take a look at that next week when I'm fixing this issue at our daughter's place. So make sure you come back for that. Anyway, I hope you guys got some out of this video. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down there. Make sure you hit the subscribe button, and make sure you hit that bell button so you're notified of all of our future videos. And of course, until that next video, happy camping and stay safe out there, guys.